Greetings, everyone's Rock from Spot Connection with the second part of the weekly comic book roundup. We're about the midway point, so all right, let's get started with Silver Surfer Black #5, the finale of Donny Cates' Silver Surfer saga. Saga, as in miniseries. All right, so where we left off. The Silver Surfer had been flung billions of years into the past. He'd fought Null and utilized part of the power cosmic to escape. He then sought refuge with Ego, the living planet, and discovered that within Ego's planet, or planetary form, was the incubator that would birth Galactus. And Surfer briefly entertained the notion of killing Galactus, but he backed down. However, Null and his dragon were were following the Surfer and were close on his trail. So now Null has arrived at Ego. So we begin. Let's explain. Surfer has become undone, his shell destroyed, his atoms collapsed and scattered, dispersed across the Great Black Kingdom like petals on the wind. He is remade and remembers he will not be devoured by the Black. He has some memories of his past. He's reminded that, not to kill the light to beat the dark. And so Null and Ego take on, or Null and his dragon take on Silver Surfer and Ego. And then it comes down to a fight between the Surfer and Null, and the Surfer has his board turned into a giant sword, and the two duke it out. And honestly, the Surfer is a bit more powerful than Null bargained for, but the Black that's been slowly taking over his body takes over completely. And Surfer forged the infinite life of the universe into galactic seeds and buried them on a planet. The planet that will become Zen-La, his homeworld. And the Surfer dies. And it's like over eons, his atoms fall like seeds across the galaxy, giving life to those planets that eat, wash, die. And slowly, over endless millennia, he is remade. He remembers who he is and who he has become. He is Norrin Rad, creator and orphan son of Zen-La, Noble light and great unending darkness. He's a friend, an ally, a lover, the most a savior. Known by many universe-wide as the Silver Surfer, the sentinel of the spaceways. The Herald Unchained. But no longer as death. The darkness he has given now balances the light he has shared. And so he returns in the black. He's still actually looking rather obviously blackened, but yes. And that is where the issue, that's where the series, in fact, comes to its close. And we got ourselves another finale in the form of Death's Head number 4. Where we left off, the Young Avengers and V were attempting to escape while Death's Head, the original, and V, Death's Head 5, were dealing with V's creator, Dr. Evelyn Necker, who was the creator, a multiversal counterpart there, of which was the original Death's Head's creator. But Death's Head is currently fighting Death's Head 4. And he actually manages to defeat him and pull out his power core. Necker then activates a bunch of drones with basically the Death's Head 5 programming. Meanwhile, the Young Avengers are trying to make their way out, but it turns out that while yes, the drones have been given Death's Head 5's operating system, they only have an hour to utilize this as. And after an hour, an EMP will go off of the building, which will nuke them. So Hulkling joins the stampede. They're going after the 2 rogue Death's Heads, and 1 and 5 meet back up. Hulkling manages to link up with them as well. And they figure, okay, here's what we do. We set explosives here, here, and here. We set these power cores and blow up the building. That'll prevent the EMP. And he goes back after Necker, but Necker has a displacement chamber. So once everyone's in place, Death's Head decides, okay, you know what? No, here's what we're going to do. And so Death's Head takes Necker through the chamber. After all, he's got a bounty on his head. And that seems to be that. Weeks later, V is living with Hulkling and Wiccan. Wiccan is working on not being, well, yeah. But there appears to be another Death's Head. However, on the outskirts of Chitauri space, Death's Head has caught up with Yondu. And gives him the money. Basically says, hey, here's what I owe you. We're even. Turns out that Necker is basically upgrading him. And the remaining credits that Also, V is getting money from the original Death Set. But yeah, Necker is, in the meanwhile, performing upgrades on the original, testing things out, as it were. And that's where the issue ends. Presumably, also, Necker will be fixing damage that's done to Death's Head in the field. But yeah, that's basically where the issue ends. And on to yet another finale, Contagion number 5. Okay, so where we left off, the mystical fungus had infected the Avengers, the FF, with the exception of the Thing, and a good number of the heroes of the street heroes, level heroes of New York. However, Moon Knight had come up with a plan. He basically defeat the fungus from within by, offering himself to it, because that's always a great idea. So they go, when they end up on 42nd Street, and yeah, everyone that's affected is there. So Moon Knight dives in head first, saying he's got to come up with better plans. Inside, he comes upon Elektra, who tells him to follow the trail. Does what he can to free Elektra as well. However, Senor Magico notes that Moon Knight's connection to the Urchin is different from everyone else. All they can do is protect him, though. So the Urchin gets pay. The other one of the other martial artists of Kunlun. So Pei fights it off while Moon Knight continues on towards the brain. So Moon Knight talks to it and works on freeing everyone. Gets brought in as well, but he gets out of there, and he brings everyone else out with him. And he even frees the little girl from Yancey Street. And so the big hero ends up being none other than Moon Knight. Yeah. Moon Knight saves the friggin' day. Because he's absolutely crazy. So the FF take the remainder of the infection, placing it in a vibranium line terrarium. And life is back to normal. There's even a joke made at the end with the Thing saying, holding a cat and saying, if this is a horror movie, they'd end by showing you some of the urchin stuff hiding somewhere on you. He then also opts to check the cat just to be sure. That is where the issue and the Contagion itself comes to its end. Moving on to Marvel Zombies Resurrection #1. So, okay, Marvel Zombies. Marvel Zombies first debuted back in the pages of Ultimate Fantastic Four. It was kind of sort of a big deal, as you know, you had an issue cover that seemed to show Ultimate Reed Richards interacting with regular Reed Richards. And it turns out that he had Ultimate Reed Richards, now known as the Maker, had found a way to communicate with other Earths, and was talking with an older Reed Richards from another Earth, who seemed to be just like the Reed Richards from primary core Marvel Earth, Earth 616. However, upon arriving there, turns out it was all a ruse. And the other Reed Richards was convincing Ultimate Reed Richards to make basically an interdimensional portal. Because, well, that Earth had become overrun by zombies. Zombified superhumans, I might add. And so the FF made their way through, actually went through the portal, seemingly stranding Reed on Earth. Magneto was one of the few remaining protectors of mankind from the ravenous super zombies, who were probably even more terrifying than normal zombies, because it's not just normal zombies with superpowers. This is intelligent zombies with superpowers. And I mean, like, intelligent, like you or me. Anyway, there ended up being various stories thereafter. There was a mini-series. There were 4 Marvel Zombies miniseries. In the middle there was also Marvel Zombies versus Army of Darkness, plus a one-shot. But yeah, the story would end up spanning decades. The first miniseries ending with the zombies, with Galactus, the Silver Surfer, coming to Earth, and then the zombies devoured Galactus and the Surfer, and a handful of them, now possessing the power cosmic, went off into space to an even bigger smorgasbord. The second miniseries actually began with the surviving zombies reaching the edge of the universe, looking like saying, "Huh, I can't believe we ate the whole thing." And so they head back to Earth, which is rebuilding. Yeah, then the third one, I actually didn't read the third one. I know that it involved Machine Man and Morbius going, and I think Jocasta as well, and others going into the zombie Earth from Earth 616 Earth. As for number 4, no clue. Now, I know it exists, but yeah. Army of Darkness versus Marvel Zombies posited the idea that the first zombie was a deadite infected sentry, who then spread it to everyone else. And it had very punny moments throughout. And there was also the Dead Days one shot, which also told a tale from the early days of the zombie outbreak. So, Marvel Zombies Resurrection. This is not related to the Marvel Zombies arc. This miniseries, various Marvel Zombies miniseries. So we begin in space, and there's a body floating. At 40 Yancey Street, Captain America, Tony Stark, Reed Richards, and Henry McCoy have all come together. There was a transmission sent from Captain Marvel. And they checked the coordinates she said to come to, and they found Galactus's body. And so, various questions come up. Like, one, Galactus represents power to the degree that we can't just let the body float there in space. Someone's going to go out and rip it apart and take it for weapons, so it may as well be us. So, the X-Men, the Avengers, the FF all go out into space. As they approach, however, Logan notes there's someone in the mouth of Galactus. They arrive. They start doing testing. There's an atmosphere within Galactus's body. Logan smells something familiar, but he can't quite place it. So they continue to check, to go through. And a bunch of them are by an unknown figure. The Wolverine finally figures out what the scent is, and it's like, okay, we gotta get out of here now. Meanwhile, Iron Man and the FF are basically analyzing things and trying to explore Fantastic Voyage Galactus. Well, it turns out that the shadowy figure that encountered Wolverine and the rest of the heroes is actually a zombified Captain Marvel. And after Carol is killed by Magic and the Soul Sword, zombified Groot pops up. And well, that's it for Magic. Then others pop up, including Skrulls, Kree, Shi'ar, Gamora, Brood. Back with the FF, they realize something's wrong, and they keep going through, and they find the Surfer in the heart of everything. And the Surfer has been turned. Also, his silver coating is falling, and he lunges at Human Torch and takes a big old bite out of him. As the fight between the heroes and the zombies does not go well, Cap tells Thor to go back to the ship and kind of say, "Hey, you're a defender of Midgard, so yeah." However, on his way out, Thor encounters Gladiator, the Shi'ar Imperial Guard. The fight continues. More of the heroes are turned. A turn to Nova pops up. Then the various turned heroes converge upon the ship, and it turns out that Captain Marvel was not killed after all. But the ship blows up. Meanwhile, turns out that Franklin Richards and Valeria Richards are being babysat by Uncle Spider-Man. And while they're talking, the corpse of Galactus begins to fall to the earth. presumably still carrying a horde of superpowered zombies. That's where the issue ends. So claiming it'll be continued. Alright, that is it for this video. As always, feel free to like, share, and subscribe. Links to my Facebook, Twitter, Patreon, and PayPal can be found in the description box down below. This is Rock and Roll Spock signing off saying, live long and rock hard.